tutorial, what we're going to do is make the tin mug, the 1 pint tin mug that they used to use in the trenches by the British Army and probably American, I don't know. These usually came in green, blue or traditionally in white with a blue rim. So let's just actually make one. This is going to be a quickish tutorial, under half hour, but let's just have a look. So let's delete the actual cube and we're going to add in a mesh, and the mesh we're going to add in is something similar to the actual cup shape that we want, and we'll just do the default cylinder. I'm just to change this down to 31 just for guidance, and we'll just make this into the cup. So first of all, the tab key takes us in and out of edit mode. You've got point, line and face select, which we'll be using. We'll also be using the modifier here through the spanner or wrench, depending where you're based. And what we'll do now is begin. So let's just get the off to a flying start. So I'm just going to X and delete the vertices. No, I'm not. I'm going to delete the face. So X faces. So we've deleted the faces. So these tended to have an actual rolled lip on the actual top of them, so we're going to actually make the rolled lip first. So going to line select, and of course we're in edit mode by pressing the tab key, and what we can do is actually select this. I'm then going to press the E key, which is extrude, in the Z, because that's the direction I want to do it. If you do it freehand, then it won't do it. The Z just actually locks it into that location. And now E, and then we're going to use the S key, which is scale, and as you can see it's scaling up, right, and all I've done is scaled it about the same distance, just as a rough guess. E and Z, just to actually take it down. Then I'm going to do E and S, just to scale it in. And then to finish it off and make sure that we've got an inside curl, what you can do is actually go into wireframe, and we can actually look from the front by pressing the 1 key, and we can just E and Z and take it about halfway. There we are. So now we've got our cup. Just let me take it off our X-ray mode again, and what we'll do is we'll just add in here a loop cut. Right, the reason we're adding a loop cut is because this has got a bevel on it. We could add the traditional bevel, but we're going to let the actual subdivision surface modifier do that trick for us. So then select the bottom with face select and E and S, just about the same distance as that. Then E and S and E and S. The reason we've done these other two additional circles is because when the bevel happens here, then this, because these are on the same level, you'll get no distortion when we use this subdivision, because the actual center is an end-on. In fact, let me just show you that, what the effect would be. So we'll go in this spanner or wrench. So we're going to add a modifier, and we're going to add a, let's have a look. We'll go into the search tab and we'll put S, because we're going to put a subdivision surface modifier in it. And as you can see, that's the actual effect I'm on about. Because of the hang-on, you get a strange effect when you actually subdivide it, and this is what this avoids. So let's just go into edit mode, go into face select, and we'll just E and S, and I'm just going to add that into there, and then E and S and E and S, and as you can see, there is no broken topology now. So if we now shade smooth this, it's now looking like a very, very clean mesh. So that's us cut made. Next thing we'll do is we'll add in a handle, and this is going to be done really, really easily. So I'm just going to actually move my cup over to one side, and I'm going to move it across the YG and Y. That's it, into the background. And then add in a mesh, and the mesh is going to be a plane. So now when we hit the 1 key, we can rotate this on the X by 90. Like so. Having the cup in the background actually just helps you with your handle and your proportions. So you can see your cup, and you can actually just make it the right size for your cup. G and Z, just move it up there. As you can see, they're miles away from each other now. And what we can do is we'll Shift and D just to duplicate that, and G and Z, move that down. So press the 1 key. Yeah, I think that's about the right place for our handle to be. Simply what we're going to do is we're going to join these together. Select that, and then join. Press the tab key to go back into edit mode. And we'll select this line up here and the very bottom line of the other cube now that we've joined them together. And I'm just going to extrude these along the Y, which is the actual green line, like so. In fact, I'll make them a bit shorter. GG allows you to actually go into but not beyond where you've actually set your limit. So let's have a look. And next what we'll do is we'll move that up a bit so it's easier to see. Next what we'll do is actually move this up, G and Z, like that. And do I want a near shape or do I want to... Depending on the shape of the handle that you want, you can actually move it up or down. As you can see, I've moved the wrong one there, so select the right one. Ctrl and Z there actually undoes anything that you actually do wrong. G and Z. I've got mine set to 32 at the minute, but you can set a limit in the preferences for the amount of undos that it'll allow. Tab out of edit mode, always a good idea to press Ctrl and A and apply rotation and scale, because it makes extrudes and everything work better, especially if you've actually changed the size of anything. So press the tab key to go into edit mode, select this, select the other one by holding shift down, and what we can do now is we're going to bridge edge loops. So quick right click, which will open this menu, bridge edge loops like that, and if this is closed, open it, because we're going to be using some of the things in here. Right, so you put the number of cuts you want on your handle like so. I'm just going to put that to 8, and here's where the magic happens. You just hit the blend surface and there you have it, you've got a handle. Now it's sticking out a bit much, and I think I want to change this shape of it just like that. There we go. And to fix it, all you've got to do is go out of, just click anywhere off it, and when you do, you cannot change your handle anymore. So, you know, depending on how much topology you want on something, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to keep this quite low poly, because what we're going to do is add the subdivision modifier to this, which then will add more geometry and smooth out the curve. Just take that down to 3 now. So we've got our handle there, and same again, what we're going to do is we're going to make that rolling loop on the side. As you can see, the origin point, this is this little orange, is it there? So first of all, I'm just going to press the tab key to take us out of edit mode and set the origin to the mass of the surface. It just makes things work better because we're going to be aiming to go to that point. What we'll do is actually select that. You do that by pressing the Alt down, select that, and E and S. So we're extruding, then we're scaling, and as you can see, that's now going in a vertical line, and it's closed that gap. So next, of course, we'll do the other side. The reason you don't do them together is because it's trying to go to that point and you'd end up with a funny angle. E and S, just to take it to the same size, and as you can see, now it's totally vertical. So next, we'll get these 2 loops. So you do that by pressing the Alt key and the Shift key down, and we get the other loop. So E and S to scale, and as you can see, I've done that wrong, because what we want to do is actually just scale it in the X. So E, S, X, and just scale it down. And as you can see, if we look from the side, they're still at the same height. Next, we'll just E and S, which then puts it down into our area there. And as before, we'll go into the wireframe because we're going to finish this off, and look from the side, and well, it's just E, S, and then X across the red line just to finish this off. I'm only going to go to halfway again, because when we actually apply the subdivision modifier, we don't want bleeding through the actual piece. Take it out of wireframe. Because we've changed quite a few of the actual sizes of this, we press Ctrl and A to fix our rotation and scale. And now we'll hit the spanner wrench and add in a subdivision modifier. Easy just to search it and just select it like that. So I'm going to take this up to 2, and as you can see, that's got quite a lot of detail, but it's still quite low poly, and we can just shade smooth that just to actually make that kind of effect. And as you can see, that's more or less an handle, but I'd like it to be a little bit better, to be honest. Right. First of all, I don't like the way this tilts down, so I'm just going to actually select that edge there by pressing the Alt key and scale in the Z by 0. But you yourself might like that kind of look, so it's entirely up to you how you do this. And I'm going to select the other one by pressing the Alt key down, scale S0. And I don't like this gradual bend. It probably works quite well, but I want to have a sharper bend, so I'm just going to take that down to about there and do the same on the other side, just to make it that little bit flatter, because I think it would be in real life. There we go, and I'm just going to add a loop cut in there by pressing Ctrl and R as well. So there you have it, we've got our handle. So let's just apply this, because I think our handle is quite good, and apply. In fact, let's just take it down to 1 and then apply it. To apply, just to actually reduce the poly count. And as you can see, we've got a point there, so I just want to add a weld point into there, because it would have been welded. So I'm just going to select that point there and select this point here, and I'm just going to go Ctrl and B, which is bevel, then go on vertices, and I'm just going to make my little point there, and then click off or escape, and then reselect these, and I'm just going to extrude along the normals like that. See, we get a lot of distortion there, and that's what I'm relying on in this case. So select the point up here and point up here, and we'll add the bevel in, same as we did down there on the vertices, and just expand it, and then reselect and extrude. Right, the reason we're doing that is because, I mean, at the minute it looks quite crude. You done it yourself, eh? Yeah, but go and put your stuff on, and I'll come up in a minute. I've just nearly finished. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add the subdivision modifier back in. You know, we only did it to 1, so search, subdivision surface modifier, and just add 1 again, and then apply. And as you can see, we've got that nice little weld effect on our model. And if we actually look into this, the actual top topology is perfect as well. Apply, and what we'll do now is we will actually take that back into the center by putting 0 in there, and we'll move our handle into the correct place, G and Y. And what we want to do is just get to the point where it's not showing there on the inside, G and Y. That's it. And as you can see, it looks like there's a gap there. You can, if you wish, add some thickness to the cup, which is done quite easily by adding another modifier. So colour inside the cup a different colour from the outside if you so wish. So right, so we're going to search, and we're going to use a solidify modifier, and all that does is adds a little bit of thickness to the actual cup itself. I'll just show you, creased it like that. As you can see, the cup brim is now getting huge, but we don't want to do that. We just want it to be correct. So we can actually move the handle that little bit closer, G and Y, till it appears, and when it disappears, as you can see, it now looks to be part of the cup. So next we'll do is apply all the modifiers, apply, and then just join this to this. So join, whoops, hold the shift down, select the handle, just make sure modifiers are actually applied, and then right click and join. So we've now made our World War II pint mug. Now, so to actually make this look a little bit real, so let's just add in a mesh, and we're going to add in a cylinder again. And we're going to scale the cylinder up, in fact, scale it well up, and then scale it down, move it down. We're just putting it on a little stool or table or something like that. Do this the easy way, so select the bottom, select the top, and then we're going to E and S, E and S, E and S. Add a subdivision modifier to this. Add search subdivision modifier. And if you're finding this tutorial useful so far, please subscribe to my channel. And if you're not, then don't. Shade smooth. So here we have it. We've got the actual little table. So let's start adding some colour. And as you can see, it's a very dark image when we go into render mode. And what we'll do is just add a simple HDRI. If you go on to Polyhaven, these are free, and we'll hit the colour and add an environmental texture, which turns it pink. And I'm just gonna, you can make a recent file, and you can actually put all your HDRI so they're accessible in Blender. I'm just gonna get there's got a 1K and a 4K, and I'm just gonna go and actually put the 1K in there. So imagine we're actually looking through our camera. What we can do now is actually change our view by pressing the N key, go into view, go into our camera, and we'll just spin it round until it's in a place that we think looks good. Let me table that little bit bigger, and then maybe move in a little bit. Once you're happy with your positioning, you can just actually lock the actual camera, so then if you hit the full stop, it will come back to your camera. So we've got our pint mug. Like I say, the scale's a bit big. You could even put it on that table over there if you so wished. Anyway, so looking at that, we've got our mug, and this is now Z. We can actually freely move it. Well, for some reason I've added the tables to it. If you ever add two things together and you want to separate them again, the easiest way is going to tab mode. What I'm going to do is actually select a face, press L key, and then P will actually separate it. So I've separated that from that, so now we can rotate the cup however we want. As you can see, the origin's still in the handle, so Ctrl and Z to make the origin jump to the middle, set origin to massive surface, and now it's in the center. So if we now rotate it along the Z, there we go. So we've made our cup. Now for the extra bit. If you made a cup and you think, oh, that looks a bit boring, in fact, we'll add some colour to this. So first of all, the cup is going to be white. So I'm just going to add a white. It's always good to rename things. I don't tend to rename things often in one of these tutorials, but it's always a good idea. This is just a simple scene, so there's not many things on it. If you don't rename things, it's really hard to find things when you've got a really complex scene. So we've got that colour, white, which we've created, and we're going to add it to that. So I'm going to make this metallic, take it down roughness. As you can see now, that's silver. But normally these were made out of enamel, so we'll take the roughness down up until it looks like it's a pot, which is about there. And then all we need to do now is add the blue colour. Put a new one. We've got that there. Go into little plus, new, select a blue colour. We wanted to put a little rim around there, and I'll show you how we do that now. And I'm just going to rename this blue. I don't know why the colour of that hasn't changed. It should have done. It's thinking about it now. Still thinks it's white. But I'm just going to put a little bit of metallic this time and quite a lot of roughness. So pressing the tab key takes us back into edit mode, and we can go on line select. Select this line. Plus, plus. And then what you can do is assign the blue colour. I mean, it always shows it down here, so it's not such a problem. So there you have it. We've made our army cup. Looks quite good. And our army 1 pint cup. And now I want to put a logo on it. and that's even easier. It's one of the easiest things you can do. 2 seconds, I've just got to do a bit of work with my daughter. What do you want me to do? Just put it on your back.
See if there's any dry spots.
Yeah.
And like wear my glasses.
How long has it got to stay on this one?
30 minutes. Dry spot.
Spin round at quarter. Don't actually wipe this off your skin, it's going to stain it that same colour as your hair is. Right, so spin round.
Can you help me wipe it off at the back of my neck?
I can help you wipe it off. Yes. Right, we need a cloth. Hello, back again. Surprising what a dad has to do. Anyway, like I say, it's not quite finished yet, and what we'll do is actually we're going to add a transfer to this. So the easiest way to do that is to actually, I'm just going to move this cup to one side, G and X, just to move it over there. And what I'm going to do is add in an image texture. So add in mesh, image, and image plane. Right, when you actually add an image plane, what happens, this actually comes up, so you can actually find the image that you want to actually put on it. So I'm just going to find my file, my cup, too far there. And my son is a big fan of Fallout, so these are just images that I've actually downloaded off of Pixabay, and I'm guessing this is some artwork that somebody's done, which is based on. It looks like it's based on Fallout, but it could be just. So what we need to do now is actually attach it to this cup. What we can do, quite simply, is we can actually go into edit mode, add subdivisions, subdivide. I'm just going to add 50 to this. That might be overkill, but my computer can easily handle it. So I'm just going to keep it at 50. Now what that's done is, because this has got a transparency, let's just go into the actual shading tab here and just show you. Because it's got a transparency, it's actually got what they call an alpha channel, and if I disconnect that there, as you can see, the alpha channel then turns black. So reconnect it to the alpha channel, and as you can see, it's now clear, so we can actually see through it. This then enables us to actually use another modifier. Let's just make sure all modifiers are applied. Add another modifier, and what we're going to do is, there's a thing called shrink wrap, and it does what it says on the tin. It shrinks wraps topology around other topology. So what we can do now, it's asking what do I want to actually take it round. You can actually select the cup there, or you can actually just use the eyedropper and hit that. And as you can see, we've got a blooming awful image there, and the reason for it is it's trying to put it in the same space, and the way we offset it is, what you can do is you set the offset to 0.001, which then should fetch it to the surface. If you've got any bleeding through of the surface, you just increase that to 0.002, or until when it actually vanishes. Now as you can see, that's now gone a bit narrow because they've got a bit of distortion. So I'm just going to scale this in the the Y, just like that. And as you can see, you can get some bleed through. I'll just scale it just like that, and just move it up slightly. GZ, let's have a look at that. Still think that looks okay. And as you can see, it's now really on the surface because it's only a couple of microns above the surface, and the more you move it above the surface, the less distortion you get. But of course, it's now floating in midair. So 0.03 takes it there, but 0.003, and you can't see the join. So there we have it, and that's a World War II with a. It's a World War II with a. It's a World War II mug in a Fallout universe, and they're probably still making them in Fallout anyway, because it's probably one of the easiest cups in the world to make. I even saw a video once on how they actually do it, and if I can find the video again, I'll put it in the link. World War II pint mug in a Fallout universe. It's kind of a bit of bleeding through. That's it. Just wanted to make it quite big on my cup. That's all. Looks quite good. I think that's all right. Just scale it down slightly. That's better. And once you've actually done that, all you do is apply it before you move your cup. The reason you actually apply it before you move your cup, well, it's on the wrong side of my cup. I've just realised. That's what don't look right. I'm just going to rotate in the Z just to actually put it in the right place on my cup. Select that and then we can apply it. And once applied, it's just same as any other object. You select your cup, select that, and then join. And then it's actually gone on to mask. I'll just rename it cup. Did it the wrong way around, that's all. So that's it. We've got ourselves a Fallout cup with we've got a World War II pint mug face on it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and if you want to see something else made, then just let me know. Bye for now.